Here is my best lap from a recent qualifying session at Zandvoort in the BMW Z4M GT3 class. This was part of the race night with the BMW NCC club, and it's just a short track guide. You know, as always, I like to do these mainly for my own edification after the race to see what I've done well and point out things that I need to do differently or where I could be gaining a little bit more time. So I'm gonna do this one lap cockpit view, and then we will go into the rear chase view. I will put my pointers, and then I'll do another one from the cockpit view, uninterrupted. So this is about halfway through the track. Oh my gosh, yeah, I lost a lot of time there too. I love this track. In 2021, Formula 1 will be back on this track. We've changed a couple of the corners, make it a little bit safer, and added quite a bit of banking. But this track just flows. It's a sequence of corners, and it feels like you're on a roller coaster the whole time. So we're almost done. Here, last few turns. Tough turn over here to take if we're falling on the gas. So that is going to be a 38.2. That's the best I could muster last night. So let's go into the rear chase mode, and all right, we'll turn things around. Just gonna make this adjustment manually. There you go. Okay, so here we go. So here braking, I used to brake closer to 100, but that's actually, it's quite close to the line. But if you delay your braking closer to this line, there's actually a lot of camber in this corner, so you can continue to trail brake well into it. So there's getting on the brakes now. We're going all the way down to the second gear. You can see the banking here. You can really take advantage of that. I probably could have been a little bit wider here. You want to stay close to this curbing. Do not get on it. If you do, it's going to push you to the left. Touched it here a little bit, actually helped with the turn in, and then you can go all the way to the left side. As you track it out, track mid right at the most, because you want to set up for this next set of corners. Right here, you want to hit the curbing, not the higher end, just a low one, and then I go down from fourth down to a third right here. And here's the key: is the track kind of runs away from you over here. But what I've usually done here, and this is where I can find a bit more time, is I can get off the brakes just a little bit earlier and do a little bit, just a tad more than maintenance throttle. And what you can do is that it's gonna push you to the left, but you can see how I'm adding throttle. I don't think I quite get to full throttle here. You certainly don't want to run wide, because that's going to compromise the next set of corners for you. But you can take advantage of all of this space, and there's no need to come all the way to the right hand side, because again, look at all the camber over here, or the banking. So you don't have to go all the way to the right. I kind of stay mid left actually, and then you just trail brake into this corner. You should be trail braking well into it, and you're gonna see the speed is still dropping off, and probably gonna get to like mid 60s, maybe even a little bit lower. So you're trail braking, you're scrubbing speed. Oh wow, mid 60s, mid 50s, maybe 56, 55 miles an hour. You can make this a double apex. So you hit the first apex, you come out, and then now you're off the brakes. 47. Wow, I didn't realize it's that slow. Now you start coming out. It's a late apex coming out here, and you want to get really close to the curb over here, and then now you're getting on the gas. Probably could have been a little bit closer. Full gas very soon, and come all the way to the right. You can even put your two wheels up. It's not an off track. There's plenty of space at this point. Good amount of grip. So let's get back to this and just slow down a little bit. Stay to the right side. I hit this white triangle a little bit. Actually, not this time. It unsettles the car a little, but it's no big deal. Get close to the curbing here. I try to just avoid it so that it doesn't unsettle the car. And here is a kind of a key section coming up, because you can easily gain 2/10 if you execute this corner well, and I don't have this down yet. So I started braking right there at the end of the curbing. Probably could have gone a little bit deeper. You start your turn in. I could have been a little bit more to the left as well. You start your turn in right at the end of that service road, and then you downshift to fourth. You want to stay on the brakes a little bit. They will tuck the front in and prohibit some of the understeer that you will otherwise get. Like I already got on the gas here. I probably could have had a little bit more entry speed and continue to stay on the brake for just a little bit longer. Back on the gas, you can carry yourself all the way out onto the left side, because you even though there's a left-hander, you don't have to come all the way to the right side to set up for it. So this left-hander, I will brake right at the line, and then start the turn in right here in this little kink. And again, you can gain a lot of time here if you're not overslowing. Get off the brakes. I go down to the third gear. I get on this curbing quite a bit. I try to avoid that secondary curbing here, but I've actually didn't hit it this time. But again, the key here is you don't want to overslow, because there's so much space here on the left-hand side. You can really carry a lot of speed. And as I've done more and more laps, I've actually discovered that the fastest way, or the faster way for me, is if you stay to the left here, instead of making it a kind of a continuous curve. If you stay straighter here, so stay left, you can get on the brakes a little bit harder. Downshift to second gear, because the key here is, as you're exiting out of this corner, you don't want to go all the way to the left. And I've messed up this corner. I still had a good time. You really want to stay no more than mid left when you have come out of the corner. There's less traction all the way out on the left side of the track. You can use this curbing. If you get up on it, it's actually going to help rotate the car a little bit. I could have taken a little bit more of it, but you can see it now. I'm already starting to run a little wide, and I really should be following this arc here, and I'm going all the way to the left. I'm still on the brakes. I already should be on the gas here. So not a great execution. Ideally I'm a little bit more to the right. I don't think you need to go all the way to the right. Some guys do take it that way, but I actually like this tighter entry, so it probably could be a little bit more to the right. It's a second gear, left-hander, stay tight, and the key here is getting on the gas early enough without spinning the wheels. So right here you can start getting on the gas, take advantage of all the space here on the right hand side, carry the car all the way to the right. That was a little late. And again here I like to stay left, position myself all the way down the left hand side, and I brake right after the line and before the curbing on the left hand side. I do get into the fifth gear briefly, and it's a second gear right-hander. So should be coming onto the brakes very soon. Get on the brakes. It's a really hard braking, 100% threshold brake. down to fourth, down to third, down to second, and do not be afraid to get on this curbing here. Again, try to avoid the second level curbing, but it is not an off track and it saves quite a lot of space, the time. That was pretty good actually. You can get on the gas for just a tiny bit, not too much. You don't want to end up all the way on the left hand side because it's going to compromise the exit out of this corner. Trail brake, start getting on the throttle, kind of test the traction. Once you start getting on the throttle and you're getting understeer, and then the car is just coming out to the right, that's enough throttle. So just stay on the left hand side here, hug the curbing. You can put the two wheels down onto the left of the curb. There's actually a decent amount of traction, but you don't have to. And then here again, go wide, go all the way to the right hand side, take advantage of it. This is again set up on the left hand side here. I get into the fifth gear just briefly, right around here, and then I downshift, or is it fourth, and then downshift down to third. Probably could have been a little bit wider. The key here is taking advantage of this of the curbing here. I could have been, I should have been more on it. It would have allowed me to carry a little bit more speed, but I missed my my turning point a little bit. You gotta be careful here. You don't want to go wide. You're gonna lose a half a second easily if you don't spin out, if you go into the sand. So definitely take advantage of the curbing on the left hand side. There's a kind of a second level curbing right here. You can get on it without getting an off track. I had 0 off tracks in this race, in this qualifying as well, I believe. In the race I had 0x, and you're once you make sure that you can make this turn safely, you get on the gas fully here. This turn, I think I have to lift a little bit. If you stay on the throttle 100%, there is going to be an understeer, and you are going to run wide. For the F1 race in 21, they've added a lot of camber here. So once they rescan this track, you'll be able to go 100% through this turn. Let's see. Still on the throttle 100%. May have gone through it, just didn't have a lot of fuel at this point. This is lap 10, so now I did lift a little bit right here. Don't want to hit the curbing. You want to stay right next to it. If you hit it, you can see this. The right hand side of the curb is quite high, so it's gonna push you wide, and here take advantage of all the space you have on the left hand side. So I'm gonna do one more view from the cockpit here, uninterrupted, and then I'm gonna show you the garage setup. So here we go. Actually, since this is a replay, I can't show the garage setup, but it is a baseline setup, identical to baseline, and I had my brake bias set to 54.3, I believe, and I did have a couple of turns where, as I was trail braking, the rear was getting a little bit looser, so I went up to like 55.1. Just gonna do the gyro. Yes, this setup. I don't know if I can. I cannot zoom out, so I'm gonna just do one more view from here. You can really see the camber from this view. Lots of camber in all of these turns. Yeah, and the late downshifting, that's really something that is a result of the problem my brake bias being too low, so too far to the back, and you could see what that was doing to the rear of the car. So I think I'm gonna have to dial the brake bias a little bit more to the front, and then I'll be able to downshift a little bit sooner without worrying about losing the rear. Technically that should allow me for a little bit faster exit, stopping lower gearing, so might be worth a couple of tenths. Alright, well that's it. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you at the next video.